Hey everybody, this is Talkative Carl back again for another spoiler review movie. And today I'll be covering the Disney Pixar movie Turning Red. And it didn't dawn on me until 10, 15 minutes into the movie. It's like, oh my god, I just now got it. Turning Red is a double meaning. It's like, of course, like red panda, but also like red meaning like, a girl's period. And then like, oh, she gets angry, turning red. Like, oh, like I'm an idiot. It's like, yeah, of course, like turning red. I get it. That's funny. Clever pun. But yeah. So I noticed it's not that many prominent actors involved. It's like, fairly new people, aside from like Sandra Oh as uh Ming Lee, May's mother, but Mei Lee, uh the star, played by Rosalie Chang. I might be mispronouncing that because it's not Chang as in Chang, is Chiang. Then you got Orion Lee, another fairly new guy, as Jin Lee as May's father. Then of course you got May's best friends, Ava Morris as Miriam, uh, Hying Park as Abby. Uh, uh, I might be butchering the hell out of this name. Uh, but has to be Indian of some sort because he plays a Indo Canadian. Uh, uh, Mai Triai Ramakrishnan. Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure I butchered that in some shape or form. But yeah. So this movie obviously is it's kind of like Inside Out when it's like got to do with like well, it's not about the same thing, but you get the point. I get like the vibes from uh Inside Out with this movie, whereas this is Inside Out is talking about like a girl getting into puberty and getting all these emotions and everything like that. You know, when you get to that next step and the emotions running wild. This you got kind of like that, but also is also about like just puberty when a girl turning 13 and she might get a period and like all sorts of things come about from that. And like here's the thing, I love the well, there's two things. One, uh this movie was supposed to had came out in theaters, but around January they announced like, no, we'll have to go straight to streaming services because around that time the like Omicron variant was like on everybody's lips at the time, and people didn't know what was gonna go down, how dangerous it is, but blase blase blase, and of course the mandates wasn't lifted for the most part in places. So like the studios just took a shot and it's like, you know what, we'll just go directly to, because we primarily want to get this to kids, but who knows what might transpire in March. So we're going to gamble on the fact that the parents don't want to risk bringing their kids to the theater while this Omicron thing is going on. And I think a lot of people thought that was a mistake. Because of course, like the Batman did gangbusters, tons of other movies have been coming out in theater. Even Matrix 4, even though it was released not only in theater and in uh on streaming services, uh but like you got like Spider-Man No Way Home and the Suicide Squad. You get like at least a handful of movies that's been like going out directly to theater. They should have just like you know just done it personally, because The second point is I dug the trailer, mostly because it was like a clever pun. What do you would you even call it a pun? I think so. Where it's like you gotta, it had the NSYNC song is going to be me, and of course it's like also a joke because every May, because it does sound like it's gonna be May. It sounds like that, but it's like they use that song for this movie's trailer when it was like announced like last year, and man, it got me hooked, and I was looking forward to it. And it's one of those things where you see in a trailer that you can just get hooked on, and it's like, God damn it, they got me on it. I really want to see it now. But even besides that, the movie looked interesting, and so you got like here's my thing, you got a girl named May, spelled MEI, but it's sounds out to May. Then you playing the NSYNC song is gonna be me, or gonna be May, but you have this movie released in March. You could have released it in May. It could have worked on 3 levels, and that was like oh my god, that kind of got me. I don't know about anybody else, but that kind of docked some points from me, for me, because I mean, how like genius is that? And it's like it's lined up perfectly for you, and you releasing it in March. Anyway, I gotta say, Mei Lee is the most adorable looking girl. The spunky attitude and like the right amount of spunk, and it's not like cliche or overblown or like try hard. It's like she plays it so well. The whole if you see like the opening, you get what I'm talking about. But even with like certain amount of the opening credits, I got the feeling like this kind of feels like a freaking almost like a I'm watching a TV series on Disney Plus. The way it's carrying on, it's like, wow. It's like I normally see this kind of thing happening like on a kids TV show, where like, she's playing with the title of the movie and stuff like that, and it's like, wow. It's like that's kind of something I expect from a TV show, but like May is adorable, and it's like I love like that like just her and her friends just like kicking it. It's just like, and then when she turns to the big panda, she's just so cute. Like in or out of the panda situation, she's just adorable, and I just want to hug her. I just love Mei Lee, but uh uh it might not. I mean, like I think you know the struggles this girl goes through, I think a lot of people can relate, especially a lot of women can relate. If you have been like a 13-year-old girl, you should be able to understand. But even besides that, I mean, and of course, like not everybody sees Chinese Canadian, and obviously, if you're of any Asian descent, you probably understand even more so than any other person. But even besides that, you get about like the struggles she's going through, because like I definitely got it, but we'll get to that in a second. So the movie is pretty much about this girl Mei Lee, who's just like I want to say overachiever, but she's trying to like do everything her mother says. She's like, her mother's pretty much like overbearing kind of mother. It's like, of course they love each other and everything like that. But it's like you gotta go to school, always get straight A's. It's almost like typical in like a lot of like movies about a character in the Asian community, and I guess it might be an actual. I want to say might be. I think like a good percentage of the population, like who's from the community, probably have gone through like you know because I definitely heard stories and like watched documentaries and stuff like that about like kids stressing out because like their parents like you gotta like get straight A's in all these academics, and you gotta like uh you know perfect like the piano or anything like that, and it's like it's so much to a kid. And I'm thinking to myself like, wow, this like kind of thing, because I see that in May, and it's like if it was done in like a, I mean, they could easily have added something like because you get one of those kids that kind of get stressed out, and well, they kind of do that, but it's like it gets dark when like realistically when a kid just like blows a gasket because they're trying to perfect everything and is not allowed to either have things on they for themselves, or you know they, they don't have anything to like unwind, or at least have a moment to themselves to unwind and decompress and all the other stuff. You gotta be like on top of it, and it's like that's a lot for a kid. And if any kid, and it doesn't matter if like if you from that particular community, I think we all understand. So May is like, of course she has like a good outlook on it at first, where she's like, you know, acing all these tests and like, uh, uh, playing the flute and everything like that. By the way, is any other teacher working at the school? Because like May has like I think like the same doggone teacher in almost in every class for some doggone reason. I thought like, okay, he's the gym teacher. He carries himself like a gym teacher the way he dresses. But then you see him teaching math, and it's like, dude, like, are you subbing? Because like, why are you like in every class? And like, I doubt that's a Canadian thing, because like there's no teacher that handles two different subjects at once. I mean, it's been done, I guess. That's what I'm saying. Like, is he subbing for somebody? Because like he's the only teacher I see. But you can see like I love May's friends. They're funny. I love their interaction with each other, the way they bounce off each other, and like they're so like a close knit group of friends. And it's like they talk about like, they see this boy at this working at this convenience store, and they go, all swooning over him, like, ooh, it's like, and it makes like he dressed like a hobo. It's like, yeah, hot hobo. I was like, oh my god, and seeing it's like, this is why I don't want to have daughters. This is exactly why, because I ain't trying to deal with this crap. But then they talk about these this boy band called Four Town, and obviously it's like a play on boy. They're kind of like a play on boy bands, because I mean I get it. I can't really dog on them about that, or I don't think anybody can dog on them about that, because this movie is set in the year 2002, which I gotta admit, like they could have just set it in present day. They don't really. I mean, I know it's supposed to be like a story about a girl retelling her story, what happened to her when she was 13 back in 2002. But it's like you could have just set it in present day. It wouldn't really make any difference. But I mean, I grew up listening to like, that's why I hooked onto this doggone got hooked onto the trailer so much, because they playing like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees. They were the boy bands of my generation back when I was a kid. I mean, like more so, like I love NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, more so, but maybe slightly even more than that, like NSYNC. But those songs are classics, and they're just like still stellar performances. It's like, I kid you not, you don't like anybody who's like at the most 25 and above knows who can like, and they hear the at least not above, maybe like somewhere between like 25 to like 37. at the most, you hear the song like "You Are My Fire, the One Desire, Believe when I say I want it that way." If you hear that melody, I play that in any karaoke bar. I guarantee you, I put money on it, the bulk of the crowd will be singing along with you. You cannot freaking help it. It is like it just ingrained in your DNA at this point. It's just like that good, and it's like I don't know. I'm not much of a fan of. Well, I'm not a fan at all of like One Direction or any of these like current boy bands like BTS or anything like that. But even people who are fan of those guys can understand this movie and the girls' fascination with Four Town, which is the boy band in the movie. And so May goes home and like she helps her family at this like kind of like because you got like a temple, a Chinese temple that's near their house where they show people around, charge tickets and stuff like that, and May helps out. So she really like doesn't like. It's obvious from the start, which is a mark of a great movie where he's kind of like show don't tell kind of situation, and she obviously like don't have a moment to herself to have fun. She's like school and work. I think even the mother even mentions like you gotta go to school, you're gonna work, and he's just like family and stuff like that. And he's like I don't know if she like even on the weekends does she have even time to like hang out with her friends, because the mother doesn't like her friends at all. But then you hear the story about like well, you get deeper in the story, but basically their ancestor Sun Yi, who's back in ancient China, her husband went off to war, and while she was home, because like she loved all animals, but more specifically the panda, and she asked like the guys to turn her into one so she can be able to protect her family while her husband was gone. And because of that, she made sure like her daughters. She had two daughters. They get the power, and every female in that family line, when they turn 13, was pretty much like allegory to like X-Men or something like that. When they turn 13, they get that same kind of power, so they can be able to protect their families. However, if any point when they want to relinquish that power, they only get a one shot where this red moon appears, and they gotta do this ritual, so that way they can trap their inner panda in a particular talisman, so they can live a normal life. That's what you eventually find out the mother did, and then the grandmother did, and any other female family member of the Lee family. So one night May turns in, she, well, getting ahead of myself, because he does turn obviously, but this is like a tipping point where when she gets home, May started like working on like a math problem in her notebook or something like that. But then she's starting to, because I guess this is like what typically what girls would feel. I mean, like, I guess I understand too, even if you're not a girl or don't identify as a girl, you probably can still get it, because I guess she's 13. She probably prior to this haven't even thought about boys like that in that way until like she started drawing and started like, oh, he's a stupid face, and I guess you got nice shoulders, and I guess you got nice eyes, and then she started like really drawing all these. And it's weird, like, fast forward thing. I don't know, like, it's like time flying by, I guess, where she's drawing all these pictures of this boy and him holding her and everything like that. And it's like, you all understand, because we all had, like, kind of crushes. I mean, like, honestly, like, I can't remember my first real life crush like that, but I do remember, like, crush on, like, Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. I think that my first memory is like my first crush, because like I don't know, it's just like that, because I talked about this in like a handful of videos, especially my movie review of the Batman Returns, which is on the channel. Like I talked about this at probably a good length. That I was like, that came out in 1992. I was still like maybe not 13 yet. But I remember like seeing that and something in my mind clicked, and it's like, oh my God. And especially when she was laid up on Penguin's bed, and it's just like that is just like that really kind of like, you get that moment where it's like, oh, and it's like that moment. And I told my friends like, oh, I guess I know what I like. It's like it was just. And of course, it's like, Forza Bark in The Craft. It's like, I saw that and I was like, whoa. It's like the smoky eyes and like just our friends joked about like, you like psycho girls. I was like, no, just, whatever. But it's like, but yeah, we all had that moment. But then like the mother found the notebook, and then I don't know how many mothers do this. I mean, we all have mothers, like, our parents in general, completely embarrassing their kids. And I don't know how many, like, at least how many of them actually understood in that moment that I'm going to embarrass my kid if I pull this stunt, or just don't care or anything like that. But she just like, oh my God, she's a little girl. She doesn't need, like, she ain't trying to think about a boy. She's trying to corrupt her. And she marches on down with her kid to the convenience store, and slams, and you see the dread. It's like great, like, visuals in this. I tell you, there's great visuals in this movie. It's the utter dread on May's face. And I'm just like in it with her, because I'm feeling the internal dread in the pit of my stomach. And oh my God, I was half the time I was hoping what she's seeing is all in her head. And it's like, oh my God, thank God she didn't, this is all in her mind, so I can just like, don't have to worry about that. But no, she's really doing this thing, and she slams that down, like it's like a courtroom drama, not a courtroom drama, but like a detective drama. And it's just like slamming the papers on the desk and stuff. And this kid doesn't even know what the hell's going on. And he look like one of those slacker dudes, and slacker dude bros. And then he's like, you want to explain this to me? Don't you ever come in my daughter again? And it's like, and then like, of course, there's like a bully Tyler that messes with May, but low-key, I think that he likes her, but it's never explored here. I'm kind of glad, but it's kind of like that kind of thing where it's like, sometimes a particular kid like messes with you, half the time they probably like the kid, and it's the only way they can express it. But he's in there laughing his ass off in the whole entire situation, and it's like, it's fucked up. That kid, snot-nosed little brat, but it's the way he did it kind of make me laugh. He's kind of like spoiling. It's kind of like Nelson from the Simpsons, like ha ha. And it's like, oh my God, why would you do that to your kid? And it's like, oh my God, and it's like, I get it. It's just like, I can't even imagine And it's like you can't. If you have kids, I'm pretty sure you probably done something that to embarrass your child, and you probably did not mean to. But doing something like that should be blatantly obvious that you're going to embarrass the hell out of your kid. And then obviously she's a worried mother. She's thinking like some boy's messing with her kid or anything like that. But it's like you didn't take the moment to talk to your kid and ask. You just jumped, and his mother, done it quite a few times. Just jump straight to jump to conclusions and go off half cocked and completely just. It's like, God, like you don't have no kind of spatial awareness that what you're doing. And I felt bad for me in that moment. And then, of course, that's when she gets stressed out that night and then turns into Panda next morning. And I kind of half hoping that at some point they played the, NSYNC song like they did in the trailer, but they haven't at no point, and it's kind of disappointing. But like I tell you, God, she is cute as a panda. Oh my God, it's the cutest thing. And it's like, I kind of want a stuffed animal of that because, like, God, like pandas are not my favorite animal, but it's like I do appreciate the cuteness because it's like the fluffy and just I love pudgy animals, and it's like I just want to hug that doggone thing. Like, oh my God, I love just the look on her face, and it's just like so cute. It's like, God, this is the big old cheeks, and it's like it's just so doggone cute. And then there's like another moment when she's trying to like keep her emotions in check, so because the only way to like revert back to her human form was to remain zen. And there's a moment when the parents try to test her, and they bring her like a box of kittens, and then the cutest little kittens just trying to climb out, playfully climb out of the box, and then climbing on top of her, and she's trying to, God, just so cute. God, it's like this is so. And she's just struggling. It's like, oh God, it's so doggone cute. It's like that's torture. It's like you get surrounded by all these cute stuff. And it's like, God, dang it, this is so doggone cute, and he just meowing all innocently. Like, God, dang it. Oh God, you don't make it easy. But those sequences are doggone fun. But then, as he's trying to keep it zen, all the way, during school, but mother is obviously assuming that she's having a period, and like you see the moment when the dad is like backing away once they start talking about. I was like, I'm not. And it's like, and then it's like, she's bringing all these pads and everything like that. And so while at school, the mother's sitting there at least a couple of times where she's sitting there stalking her daughter outside of the school, and like the security guard sitting there trying to escort her off the premises. And then completely embarrassed, it's like, God, do you have no spatial awareness in what you're doing? Why were you stalking your kid? And even if it was just about the period, do you think it's wise to like just stay out there and stalk your kid until you expect them to call you so you can be right there? And it's like I'm pretty sure the teachers can handle it. You got like plenty of female adults that probably work at the school that can pretty much handle these kind of situations, then call you if the need arise. But you sitting there perched like some kind of stalker is weird. But parents, and it's like you never know. I guess like since I'm not a parent, I don't know, but I doubt any parent would go to that length unless they're super overbearing and a helicopter mom. But that's when like the mother realized that she turned to the panda, and she's sitting there. It's kind of like the Hulk at this point, because she's sitting there transforming, and then she's trying to escape, and then run across the top of these buildings until she makes it home. And it's like, damn, it's like straight up off like the Hulk, like any one of the Hulk movies. Like, dang, this is like pretty spot on. And then that's when like the mother and the father regale her about like the ancestor. So eventually the friends find out, and it's because of the friends and their close bond that keeps her constantly her emotions in check. And then she has to wait until like a month until the next blood red moon comes by. So she has to wait till then before she can get rid of the curse or blessing, depending how you look at it. Then one of the friends bring about 4 times coming to Toronto, and like they gotta be prepared, but uh uh none of their parents are gonna let them go. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's a boy band concert that I get you don't want them maybe to go by themselves, but no parent want to like at least be a chaperone for them. And it's like I mean, if it was like, I don't know, it's hard to say. I mean, it's like because it's no other than the whole situation with like unfortunately with like the Astro World thing with Travis Scott. I mean, like beyond like something like that, it gets at least known to be typically rowdy when it comes to his concerts in the past, from what I'm here, because I'm not a Travis Scott fan at all. Really, I don't know any of his songs, but I imagine typically that you go to a concert, especially if it's like a boy band concert, it's not gonna be. I don't know. I guess I honestly don't know what the issue is. I mean, like, yeah, they're young, so if they're like 18 or above, I think you can say to assume you can trust them to go to a concert and have some fun. Or if since in their case they like 13 or at least around 13, you obviously gotta have like a parent there as a chaperone. But it's just like you're not gonna let your none of the parents don't want either one of these four go to a boy band concert. I guess because like according to May's mom, she in particular doesn't like all the gyrating and all the other stuff, and you see as to her outlook on, because it's kind of almost like not what's the p word, like not progressing but projecting, maybe a bit projecting, but also kind of like perpetuating that kind of cycle that she went through with her mom, which we'll get into a bit later. But it's just that it's just, I don't know. It's like I would like if I had a kid, like if they want to go to some kind of like if they're 13 and you want to go to like like this kind of like music concert, it's like I'll do some research about like kind of a concert or the the artist and what have you, and like it's a big deal. Like I'll take them or like make sure somebody there to chaperone them and get them home in a reasonable hour. It's not a big freaking deal. But these kids, I mean, like I don't know what's up with the parents, but they make it seem like these are bad kids, they can't be trusted out or something like that. But it's like May brings up like good arguments, like I always do what I told, like I get straight A's all the time, like like I never late from home, like or at school. It's like it's like I do all this other stuff, and it's like I want something for myself. I don't ask so much, and it's like we all been there as kids. Like if you're not like a rotten little shit stain of a kid back in the day, but you want something for yourself, and you should just be allowed that, because this is your kid and they have to listen to you, but they're people too, and they have some agency, and they can think, and they have feelings, and like you gotta allow them that to an extent. And I think a concert is a good example of like allowing them that kind of like like a bit of respect of their agency, to say, yeah, my kid's been doing great, especially if they've been getting constantly straight A's in school. You think they hell, go ahead and like I'll throw you a pizza party afterwards, that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing that for somebody like May, who's been like doing gangbusters in school, And it's like she's such a good, apparently, or at least what it seems to me is she's such a good kid. And it's like, why don't you throw a pizza party right afterwards? Like, dang, this kid is like deserve it. I mean, come on. And it's not like she was slacking at all. And it's like not one of those moments where you gotta tell your kid like you get that grade up in math, then yeah, that kind of thing. It's not like that. She's always on point with her stuff, and I just feel bad for May because we all see ourselves in May when it comes to this kind of thing. Uh, but they decided to like we'll raise the money ourselves, so because like the friends are like very impressed that May's because with the panda it's kind of like a nice mix with like Teen Wolf as well, whereas like this if you ever seen Teen Wolf, this is Michael J. Fox kind of movie back in like I think the 80s, but it lets out like May's true feelings that she kept repressed. So she decided like what, we're gonna raise the money ourselves. We're gonna go anyway. Screw that. And it's like, and you root for May, even though you would not approve of her. Like typically you wouldn't approve of her. Define her parent after they explicitly said no. But it's kind of like, we're gonna be kids when we. And that's another thing that kind of raises a good point. Is like they're not gonna be kids forever, and that's a thing that parents sometimes don't seem to realize. It's like, yeah, allow these kids to be kids, and like part of being kids be able to do certain things like go to a boy band concert or just like a music concert in general that they are fans of. And it's like you denying them that, they gonna lose out on something that they gonna resent you for it down at some point. But they decided to like use the panda because everybody's like seeing this panda and they get all they want to hug it and ride and all the other stuff. So they charge people money for like hugs and rides, and they videotape it and everything like that. And Tyler gets wind, and he decided to, because they like a short $100 because each ticket costs like $200, and it's like, oh my god, it's like that crazy amount of money. I mean, it's $200 in Canadian, but it's probably different for our American version. But $200 each kit, so they're $100 short, and Tyler's gonna pay for the rest of it if May comes to the his birthday party, with the panda form and give rides and everything like that. And they agree, but it have to be they, it happens to be well, they find out about the one of the friends mistakenly thought the Toronto concert was going to be on on one particular date, was they missed it and confused it with Toledo. So that's where the whole May just wanted to go anyway and screw it because I just want to like hang with my friends kind of situation. But then you get find out about like the grandmother, because apparently they had a falling out. You see like the mother freaking out when her mother calls. You can see like right away like she doesn't have like a good relationship with her, or at least they had a falling out, because you see like a scar on the grandmother's face from like apparently there was like a fight that they had. And eventually the mother finds out about this party. They come all the way down because like Tyler was being a little shit, calling like May a freak and everything like that, and talking about her mother. And then of course it gets very werewolf vibes, and it's like terrifying Tyler. Parents find out, Tyler's parents find out, they chastise May's mom, and who then not goes directly to May because she doesn't believe May doesn't hold any responsibility in this. She goes directly to the friends and blame the friends because she already never liked the friends, and May never stuck up for her friends, which kind of fractures the relationship between her and them. And so they try to go through this ritual, and May decides to keep the panda. I'm getting ahead of myself. While preparing for the ritual, the father finds like the video recorder of May in her panda form, having fun with her friends and everything like that. And he kind of brings a smile to her face, and he expressed that how like it's been a long time since he saw like May like truly having fun like that. And he expressed that like her mother went through the same thing. Her panda was kind of big, and that's why. And her mother was close, but then the relationship between them got fractured. Like she wondered how, and he points like, yeah, it was over me because the mother didn't approve of me, so that caused your mother's panda form to come out, and it ended up in like the grandmother getting hurt. And they haven't had a decent relationship since then. And here's the thing about the father. It wasn't until like the third act where he just not really, he talks, but he doesn't really say things, you know what I mean? Whereas like, hey, you're not going to stick up for your daughter or say nothing. I mean, he tried, but it's like, again, like, of course, we all been there, guys. We all been there. We got like, when we in a relationship, the wife or the girlfriend calls shots and you don't really say much. But, when you see something where it's kind of like overstepping the bounds, you got to like really okay, I got to really interject here. And I think you're out of bounds on this one. And it's like, he just like, there's no true villain in this, which is like another thing I appreciate about this movie. There's no true villain in this, just like in Inside Out or Soul, or about to say Moana, but that's another Disney movie, but I'm blanking on it. But it's like you like it's a mark of a good movie where he's like you telling a story and it doesn't have like a villain per se. You just you're just along for a ride and you're learning something from these different types of relationships. And it's pretty much like a growing, coming of age story kind of situation. I just wish if I had like any kind of cons, I wish the dad stepped up more in the movie. Where it's like, because obviously he's seen his daughter getting like, agitated and he could, knowing full well like what he witnessed while like growing up and in a relationship with his wife, he should like be like, hey, just so you know, you kind of like, you're wrong on this one. You don't want the same situation happen to May and you like it did with your mother and you. So it's like, you kind of want to, ease up. I just wish he would have done more. But May runs off, disrupts the ritual, runs off to go to the concert with her friends where they eventually make up, which I'm glad they didn't drag out the making up part, no longer than a minute. And there the concert, like Tyler's there too, because he's like a Four Town fan too, which is like hilarious. But in the process of May escaping, because each one of the lead women have like a talisman to keep the red panda inside, May's mom's talisman gets cracked and her panda comes out and it's huge like a freaking kaiju, goes down to the concert and causing destruction trying to find May. And you see this moment, it's like, how dare you disrespect your mother? And it's like, And that's the thing with like parents a lot of times, and I think a lot of people will understand. It's like, you know, they're a little bit right and a little bit wrong. 'Cause I'm not gonna say it's like, it's cool for like anyway just to disrespect your parents, but they're wrong in a way. It's like you allow your kid to, say their piece in the first place. You don't have to worry about outbursts later. Because I've been through that with my uh, uh, father and my stepmom and even my birth mom. You know, every once in a while, because I don't feel like I'm heard or have been heard or anything like that, and it hurts, and that kind of builds, and so you get outbursts like that you would find disrespectful, and May's never got a chance to like express herself. In my mind's eye, is like, yes, you might find it disrespectful to your point of view, but you need to hear them out. And she wasn't allowing May to say her piece, what she wants to do, and the pen is allowing her to just like finally just express it. It's like, like like I'm not like your perfect little May anymore. I like boys. I like going to concerts. I want to hang out with my friends. All three are legitimate things, for a little girl to want or any kid to want. And like she confesses like it was my idea to go to that party in the first place, and like all that, even though it's like the whole panda thing, but it's kind of like an allegory to like anger, which is kind of like the Hulk in a way. It's like just expressing frustration in like negative ways. In a way, I'm not a psychologist, but I'm just saying. But that's how I view it. And with the mom's panda form, she's not truly listening to the daughter even at this point. She just sees or hears disrespect, and all she wants is her kid to like get better, even though it's valid. But you're forcing like a perfect relationship, because I guess your relationship with your mom isn't healed, or at least hasn't been tried to been healed. And thanks to the family, getting the mom to, because they all go to this like astral plane where they can seal away their panda forms. But I like this part. It's probably one of my favorite parts in the films, where you see like May go into this forest, and you see this other little girl, and the mom, and you see like May through her, and it's like you can tell maybe like the grandmother was trying to handle things, but it's kind of like, as she had kind of expressed it, earlier in the film, it's like you gotta deal with it with an iron fist, like it's kind of like spare the rod, spoil the child kind of mentality kind of thing. And because of that way she was brought up, not like the grandma was like a bad person, but it's just like her way of raising a child, which is something like the mom didn't want to repeat, but somehow she's probably kind of went like too far in the other direction as well. There was no middle ground. And well, maybe not too far in the other direction, like she's letting her kid go all over the place. That'll be the other direction. But it's kind of like you're softer with it about it, but you're still restricting your kid. Telling her, because you're telling your kid, where to go, what to do. I mean, like, yeah, I tell your kid what to, do half the time, sure. But it's like you're kind of put her in a box in a way. And she's your precious little May. And I get it, but it's like you are caging your kid in a way. And you see the mom sobbing because like her mom did not let her uh uh you know, make certain choices for herself, and it became a detriment to their relationship, which uh, May kind of like was there to kind of like was nice to like, you know, kind of fix like the relationship. It's just that I would like to have like maybe like a little bit more time with like seeing the mom express to the grandmother her feelings, about like what transpired. Like, I wanted to do certain things, and I wish you would let me express myself a little bit more, because they reconcile. But it's like I wish they kind of like take a little bit of time to like explain, their the mom's grievances. But everybody but May gets their panda sealed away again, and then the movie ends where like May's back going to school, and like helping out at the shop with the parents, but now she's allowed to like go hang out with her friends at karaoke and just like have a good time and everything like that, and just be a kid. And unlike like other movies that kind of like want to see like, okay, like a TV show about like certain things like Moana, but I part of me kind of wants a show about this, but what kind of story can you tell? Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe you can do like a Hey Arnold thing with it, where it's like it is about like maybe like the kids in school and May's friends, and like the panda comes out every once in a while to help out with certain tasks kind of situation. uh Maybe that could work. Just do the Hey Arnold thing, just like school life, kids life, and like extend the coming of age kind of situation. But yeah, I mean, I really dug this movie. I mean, it's like not on the same scale as like maybe Soul, but I still enjoyed it. It's like nearly up there. It's like it's like maybe like blow Soul maybe by a couple of notches, but it's like still pretty high. And yeah, I dug it. I mean, it's like Turning Red is a very fun movie, great to watch with the family. Highly recommend it. But if you saw the movie, tell me what you thought. And yeah, smash that like button, show your support, and I will see you guys later on with a few other reviews. So yeah, take care. Have a great night.